everyone, my name is Diffenex and I'm here back with another video on the channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the best 5-star Lightcones that you could have on your account on Honkai Star Rail. There are a bunch of Lightcones, so I can actually talk about them and tell you which ones are the best by each path and the ones you should be focusing your pulls on if you want to pull for 5-star Lightcones. I think it's an interesting idea. It will also help you knowing which are the best Lightcones, help new players deciding who they should prioritize their pulls, and I will also explain the reasons why I'm considering the best. If you don't know me, my name is Diffenex. I do gacha games content on YouTube and on my other socials, mostly Genshin, Honkai Star Rail and Wuthering Waves content, but as other gacha games come, I will probably start producing content for them as well. Let's move to the Destruction Lightcones first. I'm going to talk about them the order I have them, because if I don't have them, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to talk about them. I'm just going by order that it appears on the screen. I just want to remind you all that I'm only going to be talk about 5-star Lightcones. I'm not going to talk about 4-star or 3-star Lightcones. If you guys want a video for that, leave that down in the comments. The first Lightcone I'm going to talk about is On the Fall of the Aeon. This is an F2P Lightcone that you can have from the Simulated Universe shop. This Lightcone is probably amongst the best 3 options for every attack scalar DPS from the Destruction path. Even if they are not based on crits, they will also like this. It gives a lot of attack for your DPS. Most of the 4-star Lightcones from the Destruction path are kinda niche, and this Lightcone, being versatile as it is, it makes your life way easier. And in fact, the only problem that I've seen people running to is that most people have to fight for who to use this Lightcone, because it's so universal, so you will have so many characters that want to use this at the same time. In my case, I am lucky to only have this on Firefly, but that can change in the future. Second Lightcone from the Destruction element that I think it's a very good Lightcone, it's Blade Signature Lightcone. This one is not F2P, but it's good with any HP scaler. Even if they are not from the Destruction, they can still use this Lightcone. For those who don't know, if your character does not follow the same path as the Lightcone, the passive doesn't apply, but the base stats do apply. So if you need a high base HP for another character like Caster Reese, you can use it. Sure, you won't be using the passive, but while you are trying to get a new Lightcone for her, you can also use this. And as I say Caster Reese, I say any other HP scaler, even if they are not from the same path. The thing that makes this Lightcone good, thanks to its passive, is also being good with characters like Arlem, Clara and Yunli. Since all of them need to lose HP, even if they don't scale with max HP, they will gain the damage bonus that you will get from losing HP. And as the last Lightcone we are going to talk about from the Destruction element, we have Exactly's Yunli's signature Lightcone. It has a high base attack and its passive is really good. This helps any character that likes to be attacked and don't have any mechanic on their kits to help them do that. It's the best in slot for Yunli and for Clara, and is also good on Blade, but not his best in slot like I said. And of course you can't forget that it greatly increases the wearer's chance of getting attacked, which is the main reason for it to be here so high. Now, for the Hunt Lightcones, we are going to start with Topaz Signature, Worrisome Blissful. This Lightcone is good on any Hunt character with follow-up attacks. This Lightcone also applies debuffs for those who need, and it buffs the user damage and the team damage too. It's super versatile because you can use it on a main DPS and on a sub DPS. So for me, this is for sure a winner of one of the best 5-star Lightcones for the Hunt path. The next Lightcone we are going to talk about is the Cruising of its LRC, which is also an F2P Lightcone from the Simulated Universe shop. It gives a lot of crit rate at R5, which is something you will be able to do. And if you are wondering how much it gives you between 16 and 32% depending on enemy's health. It also gives you a massive attack buff, which is 40% at R5 every time you kill an enemy. Something that it's going to be easy for a main DPS. And the only times you will have problems is when you are fighting single target enemies that don't summon anything. And as you can see, this Lightcone can be used by literally every Hunt character in the game, no matter if they have follow-up attacks, if they do ultimate damage, if they do skill damage, it doesn't matter. The passive is so universal that makes it usable on anyone, which will probably lead you to having problems on who to use this on. Now, for the Erudition Lightcones, we are going to start with Jingwon's signature Lightcone, Before Dawn. This Lightcone buffs everything besides basic attack, which is something you barely use on an Erudition character anyways. But it's also a great increase on damage for Erudition characters that use skills and follow-up specially, like Imeko or the small Lerta. It's super universal, and when it was launched, People pull for this Lightcone to use it on a bunch of different characters, and it actually pulled it off. Now we are going to talk about once again the simulated universe Lightcone Eternal Calculus. This Lightcone gives good attack buffs and also buffs speed, but it's nothing out of the ordinary, but usable on anyone from the Erudition path at least. It shouldn't be your first pick on the simulated universe shop, but it's very good if you already have the best Lightcones that are there. Himeko's signature, Night on the Milky Way, is the next Lightcone we are going to talk about. In the beginning, this Lightcone was trash talked and was considered one of the worst Lightcones in the game, but after Pure Fiction, this Lightcone redeemed itself and it's now one of the best, especially for that game mode. But nowadays, since all endgames move towards an Erudition playstyle, this Lightcone is also good outside of Pure Fiction. Every character from the Erudition path can use this Lightcone because of its universal buffs, since it gives you a ton of attack and damage buff. But you should always have in mind the number of enemies you are going to face while using this Lightcone. And as the last Lightcone we are going to talk about on the Erudition path, we have the Erta's signature Lightcone, Into the Unreachable Veil. This Lightcone is pretty much the best insult on every Erudition character that doesn't have a follow-up attack. This Lightcone gives a lot of damage percent on your skill and ultimate damage, which is amazing. And it also gives an extra skill point after using the ultimate if the same ultimate consumes at least 140 energy, which only Jing1, Himeko, Herta and Serval don't reach. And surprise surprise, all of them have another best option, which for 3 of them is Jing1's signature, and Serval actually she can use anything. Now for the Harmony path. The Harmony path is one that it's a bit niche, so I only have 2 Lightcones that I will recommend from here. The first one is Bronia's signature, but the battle isn't over. Like I said, most Harmony Lightcones are niche for specific characters, but this one, it's not. It's one of the only Harmony Lightcones that gives energy percent on its passive. It also regenerates a skill point after using an ultimate every 2 times. And it also increases the damage of the next ally taking action after using a skill, which is even better if you are using this Lightcone on an action advance buffer, like Sunday, Sparkle or even Bronia. Talking about Sunday, let's talk about his signature Lightcone, a Grounded Ascent. This Lightcone shows a big difference on Sunday, but also on Harmony characters that have single target abilities. It's amazing on Tingyun, an universal 4-star Harmony character that pretty much everyone has, and it's also decent on Bronia and Sparkle. This Lightcone turns your Harmony character into a skill point positive as long as they have a single target buff. Gives flat energy to the target using single target buffs, which is better than energy percentage, since it changes with the energy buffs you have on your character. And it gives damage to the buffed ally. So, overall, it's a big win. Now, for the Nihility Lightcones. Nihility is a pet full of different playstyles, DOT, break, debuffers, and even crit DPSs. So, for this pet, I would only recommend one Lightcone, which is Acheron's signature Lightcone, Along the Passing Shore. This Lightcone is the best for any Nihility DPS that likes crits, or that you wanna build with crits anyways. It gives crits, damage, and ultimate damage, and it also gives one extra effect, which is perfect for Acheron to gain one extra stack. So for these reasons, I will consider this Lightcone as the only best one from the Nihility path. For preservation, the story is similar, which I will only consider one Lightcone, and that one is Jeopard's signature, A Moment of Victory. This Lightcone gives a lot of defense, and I'm not joking, it's a high defense with a lot of defense on its passive. It also increases the chance of you being attacked, which helps even more with the sustain of your team, and can be used on any preservation character we have, even if they are not scaling with defense like Fushuan. What about Abundance? Well, for Abundance, we have actually 3 Lightcones. Let's start with the Bailu signature Lightcone, Time Waits for No One. This Lightcone gives a lot of base HP. As you can see, it's the same base HP that Blade Lightcones had, and with a high HP comes being useful on characters like Caceres, who like HP and don't have a lot of options on their path. This Lightcone also has a universal passive that increases HP and healing provided, being useful for literally any healer. It also gives a little bit of damage based on the user's outgoing healing to a random enemy after a Lies attack, but let's be honest, no one cares about that. But what if your sustainer scales with attack? Well, then Echoes of the Coffin or Luosha's signature Lightcone will be the best one for that. It's an universal Lightcone for any Abundance character that scales with attack, and gives energy based on the number of enemies hit after using attacks up to 3 stacks, and gives speed for the team after you use your ultimate, which is perfect. And for last on the Abundance path, we are also going to talk about Huohuo's signature, Night of Fright. This Lightcone gives energy percentage on its passive, and gives a bit of extra healing to the ally with the lowest HP after you use the ultimate, which can be useful as an emergency healing, especially for those characters who don't heal on their ultimate. It also gives an attack buff to allies healed, which is perfect, especially if you are constantly providing healing for the team. And now, for the last path of the game, and for the one with the less amount of 5-star Lightcones in the game, we are going to talk about Remembrance. And for Remembrance, it's actually the only Lightcone that I have. And that's the simulated Lightcone Memory's Curtain Never Falls. Once again, Simulated Universe is saving the day, providing us a very usable Lightcone on almost any character from the path. This Lightcone gives speed for the user and damage for the team after using skill, making it the best F2P option for higher scene and Remembrance MC, and it's also usable on Aglaia for players struggling with other options. And the only character that doesn't like this Lightcone at all is Caceres, since she doesn't care about the speed. But yeah, this was it. Tell me in the comments your opinion about this video, and if you agree with my ranking on the 5-star Lightcones. Do you think another 5-star Lightcone should be included on this video? And do you want me to do a 4-star version? Let me know down there on the comments. Thank you so much for staying until the end. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like and to sub to the channel if you are not. My name is Difenex, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye bye.